Hello, and welcome to Question in a Bottle. In this series of short discussions, private investor Mark Atkinson answers questions sent in by listeners and subscribers to his main podcast, The Desert Island Investor. So, let's take a look and see what's in the bottle that washed up on the beach today.
Right, Paul, this is a question from Christopher Lee. Not Dracula, it's spelt L-E-I-G-H. Mark, you listed your top 5 holdings some while back. Many fund managers release a monthly fact sheet containing their top 10 holdings and their weightings. Could you do the same and include the last time you added to each holding? Thank you for the question, Christopher, and you've set me a little task there. Firstly, to underline once again that I am not a fund manager. I'm just a private investor who is not a tipster. And people often follow successful fund managers and some private investors wanting to know their top holdings and replicating their portfolio unthinkingly. In my opinion, big mistake. You often find that somebody's number one holding is there by virtue that it's had a stellar run, it's been on a moonshot, and they've not paid the price it stands at today. And again, do your own research. This is not just said as a disclaimer, but important that you understand the business. The other person may well be wrong, and what fits snugly in somebody else's portfolio may not complement yours. Also, this is just a snapshot in time. Share prices are bouncing around all over the place. There is some significant daylight between some of the holdings, and others are more tightly packed. They often change positions, and indeed the constituents of the top 10 do change. Okay, stock pickers, let's dive in. In 10th position is MTI Wireless, who are an Israeli-based antenna business. They supply defence, which has unfortunately been in vogue lately, and water management, irrigation, which is an increasingly important resource. I last bought in June of this year, June 2025, at 46.3 pence, and it accounts for 3.6% of the portfolio. 9th position is MPAC, and they are manufacturers of packaging machinery. They recently had a profit warning, but for a long time have had a large pension deficit hanging over them, and that's been something of a drag. They've announced a buy-in with Aviva, and hopefully they can extricate themselves from this over the next couple of years, and it's one less thing to focus on and be a drain. I last bought way back in February 2014 at £1.80 when it was known as Mullins, who manufactured cigarette machines. So lots has happened to that business since then, and that is 4.7% of the portfolio. In 8th is Greggs, the ubiquitous bakery / food on the go business. Still expanding, but latest mood is how much growth is there left. Not been helped by employer national insurance and minimum wage hikes. That's a particular headwind for a business like this. I added in May 2025 at £21.37, and that is 4.8% of the portfolio. In 7th is Titan Holdings. They are into natural and mechanical ventilation. They are hopefully undergoing a successful turnaround in its fortunes by new management who've invested not insignificantly in shares. I added in April 2025 at 72 pence, and that is 5% of the portfolio. 6th is Unilever, who are a Goliath in consumer brands, and you find their brands in most shopping trolleys. The new CEO is said to be very impressive. They are due to hive out their ice cream division, so it'll be interesting what size of a concern that is. And again, one I last traded in some time back, July 2013, at £26.69, and that is 5.7% of the portfolio. So we're getting further into the business end now. The current top 5 is in 5th position, Smurfit Westrock, who are an Irish-based multinational corrugated paper supplier. The tailwinds, the twin tailwinds, are an increase in e-commerce and a move away from plastic packaging. Smurfit Kappa merged with US WestRock just around a year ago, so it's still early days on how easy this is all coming together. I last bought Smurfit Kappa as it was in November 2022 at £29.05, and that's 6.5% of the portfolio. In fourth, Tesco, far and away the largest UK supermarket group with 28.1% of the market. Sainsbury's in second with 15.2%. Been steadily increasing its market share while competitors such as Asda, Morrison and Iceland have been saddled with debt. Meanwhile, Tesco have been increasing dividends and doing share backs, and I added in April 2024 at £2.90, and that is 7.5% of the portfolio. In third, Concurrent Technologies. They manufacture rugged circuit boards for demanding environments. Again, defence. That's led by Miles Adcock, who is one of the most impressive people I've met in any field of life. Very driven. This has been on an aggressive expansion since Miles joined. So it's put your seatbelts on. I last added in May 2024 at £1.05, and that's 9.7% of the portfolio. In second, MP Evans. They are into sustainable Indonesian palm oil with plantations exclusive to Indonesia. They really make the asset sweat. It's an excellent business model. They have superior yields per hectare versus other operators. And they've made a number of strategic bolt-on complementary earnings-enhancing acquisitions. They have their own milling capacity to reach their full potential. And I added in February 2025 at £10.50 and a halfpenny, and that is 10.8% of the portfolio. And then I've come to do a drum roll. I don't know if we can fit a drum roll in, but in first place is Me Group, and they are a vending business predominantly in photo booths and open air laundries. They recently announced that they were evaluating various strategic options to enhance shareholder value, and one of these being considered involves seeking potential offers for the company. So the company said it's not in receipt of any proposals, but the for sale sign is very much up. And I last bought when it was listed as PhotoMe in July 2022 at 76.5, and that is some 14.5% of the portfolio. So Christopher, I hope that helps. I'm sure this list will look very much different in 12 months' time. And for those who consume the podcast via YouTube, if you so wish, you can always put your top holdings in the comments. So thanks very much, and I'll speak to you next time.
Well, that's all for this episode. We hope that you enjoyed it. Please remember the content is for information only and it is not financial advice. If you have a question for Mark for our Question in a Bottle podcast, just complete the form on our website, thedesertislandinvestor.co.uk. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.